Hello and welcome to Matador News. I'm Jasmine Dalton.
And I'm Rachel Benshah.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are confirming the first case of Ebola in the United States. The patient, who traveled from Liberia about 2 weeks ago, is being held in a strict isolation ward and is under intensive care. CDC Director Tom Frieden says health officials have a strategy to avoid the spread of the disease.
He might have had direct physical contact with somebody, and for each one of those contacts we will monitor them for 21 days after exposure in conjunction with the local and state health department and the hospital to see if they develop symptoms.
Dallas County health officials say they are closely monitoring a possible second Ebola patient who is a relative of the first. Health officials say at the moment the disease is contained to specific family members and close friends.
CSUN Public Health Professor Dr. Lorenzo says that he is confident the U.S. officials can keep the Ebola case in the U.S. contained.
What that means is if you come down with Ebola, there's a 50% likelihood that you'll die from Ebola. But I think we have the proper care, and I'm going to echo Dr. Thomas Friedman from CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who says that, we're managing it, and we won't see like a widespread outbreak like we're seeing in West Africa right now.
Dr. Chu says the U.S. has proper infrastructure and facilities to help those who may be at risk of being exposed.
But some CSUN students say they're worried about this new case of Ebola.
I would be so scared to be around people, especially people that are sick, or be around like any emergency rooms. I wouldn't even want to get out the house. I would just rather stay inside instead of trying to get contaminated by other people that have the Ebola virus.
It's really terrifying. I mean, I didn't even know about that. I mean, if you guys have seen, it's like that thing from Planet of the Apes where everybody's getting infected with that virus and now it's spreading. That's really unnerving to think about.
Meanwhile, the United Nations says one of its staff members in Liberia has died of Ebola.
The Chinese government says it will not reconsider the decision to allow only Communist Party-approved candidates to run for Hong Kong's highest office. Thousands of demonstrators continue to gather to demand free elections. Hong Kong lawmaker Regina Ip believes it is necessary to support the Chinese government.
We are not an independent political entity. China cannot afford to have someone elected as chief executive who would go to Washington or London for help or leak our state secrets to them. The simple answer is because we are part of China.
Various state-run or state-affiliated media are blaming the pro-democracy protests for fracturing the foundation of Hong Kong society. An editorial in People's Daily newspaper warned the protests are illegal and those involved will face dire consequences.
In Syria, a car bomb and suicide attack has killed 30 children at the school and homes. Meanwhile, in Iraq, Kurdish Peshmerga fighters say they have captured a string of villages from ISIS troops, and Turkish soldiers and tanks are lining up along the border between Turkey and Syria. Turkish lawmakers are considering whether or not to intervene in the fight against ISIS. British and U.S. airstrikes continue, and Australia has deployed an aircraft over Iraq in support of allied operations. Polls say Americans support airstrikes against ISIS, but are against sending U.S. troops to fight in Iraq and Syria.
California has become the first state to ban the use of plastic bags, but plastic bag manufacturers say they are seeking a voter referendum to repeal the law. They say it will take away thousands of manufacturing jobs as well as serve as a cash giveaway for grocers. Shoppers who do not have reusable bags will have to buy paper bags for 10 cents each. The cities of Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Austin, and Seattle have already implemented the bag ban. And Hawaii, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and Puerto Rico are in the process of banning single-use bags as well. California's new law is scheduled to take effect in grocery stores and superstores next summer.
Governor Brown has signed a bill into law making California the first state in the nation to have a clear definition of consensual sex. The new law seeks to improve universities' handles of rape and sexual assault cases, and to clarify that consent cannot be given if someone is asleep or influenced by drugs or alcohol. The law will require colleges receiving state funding to have policies covering sexual assault or domestic violence, and to provide training for campus officials who provide counseling for victims.
Bell Gardens police are still investigating the shooting death of Mayor Daniel Crespo. They released his wife this morning, and Lavette Crespo claims she shot her husband while defending her son. Police say the couple was fighting yesterday afternoon. The son intervened, and father and son started exchanging blows. The wife reportedly grabbed a handgun and shot her husband several times in his upper body. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital.
Now let's take it to Michael Serrano with more on health.
Thank you, Jasmine. Doctors in Boston have identified 4 more cases of an unknown neurological illness. The patients are all children, ranging in age from 4 to 15 years old. Doctors say each child suffered from respiratory problems before being hospitalized for significant limb weakness. This condition first appeared in Colorado in a group of 10 children. Doctors there reported similar symptoms, as well as cranial nerve dysfunction and abnormalities in their spinal gray matter. Several children identified with the illness also tested positive with the enterovirus. Doctors are looking into this connection, but they have not found any concrete evidence yet. The Centers for Disease Control has identified 41 cases of the virus in the United States and 472 worldwide. Now let's go to Rosanna's Siracusa for business.
Thank you, Michael. The stock market has taken a significant plunge early this morning. The uncertainty surrounding the protests in Hong Kong has Wall Street concerned about the global economy. At this moment, the Dow Jones is down 235 points and the Nasdaq is down 75 points. Microsoft shows off the latest version of its leading operating system, Windows 10. Microsoft focused on a handful of features it says are beneficial for business customers. Microsoft says it will allow business customers to choose specific Windows features to upgrade one at a time. The goal is to transform Windows from a desktop operating system to a platform that can be accessed anywhere. A new type of body scanner promises to make every frequent traveler's dream come true. Scanners currently used at airports require travelers to stand still with arms raised. The new scanner is called Alpha 3, and it's based on the established technology of millimeter wave imaging. But Alpha 3 would allow travelers to simply walk by while it detected metal objects underneath clothing as well as liquid and gel substances. Alpha 3's inventor, Dr. Naomi Alexander, promises accuracy and automatic detection of threats. Netflix is teaming up with the Weinstein Company to release its first major feature film. The project will be called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon: The Green Legend. This movie marks the beginning of the ongoing agreement between the two companies. Netflix will become the exclusive home for first-run films from Weinstein. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon will premiere on Netflix alongside A Berth and IMAX theaters. Some theaters, including AMC, Regal, Cinemark, say they will show the film in protest against online movie releases. Now let's go back to Mike Serrano for the latest on sports.
Thank you, Rosanna. The Kansas City Royals displayed late heroics in the 12th inning to beat the Oakland Athletics in their 9-8 AL wildcard thriller. The Royals scored 4 runs in the 8th and 9th innings and persevered onto the 12th inning to win the game 9-8. Salvador Perez pulled a hard hit past Oakland's third baseman, Josh Donaldson, that allowed Kristen Collison to easily score and win the game in the 12th inning. Kansas City's bench erupted celebrating as they made history at Kauffman Stadium. The last time the Royals made an appearance in the postseason was back in the 1985 World Series, almost 3 decades ago. The next game is on Friday against the Los Angeles Angels at Anaheim. University of Michigan's president Mark Schlissel and athletic director Dave Brandon are under scrutiny over the handling of a quarterback's head injury and Saturday's loss to Minnesota. Brandon has come under heavy criticism for allowing Michigan's quarterback Shane Morris to return onto the field after showing symptoms of a concussion. Student protesters want the school to fire the athletic director. University President Schlissel is asking the athletic department to provide him with a review of the program's player safety procedures. LeBron James will be producing and starring in his new series called Becoming. The pilot will follow teammates and friends and former coaches who will speak about James's playing days for both the Northeast Ohio Shooting Stars team and for his former high school. LeBron will also plan for the future episodes to profile other basketball players. LeBron's Spring Hill production company and ESPN Films will develop the new series that is set to premiere Sunday, October 26 on Disney XD. Now we send it back to you, Rosanna, for entertainment news.
Thank you, Mike. 2 celebrities are in the hot seat this week on DUI charges. Amanda Bynes and Michael Phelps both were arrested for driving under the influence. Bynes is also under suspicion of being under the influence of a stimulant. And Phelps was also charged with excessive speed and crossing double lines inside a Maryland tunnel. This is the second DUI charge for both celebrities. Bynes was released on a $15,000 bail, but is still in the middle of a 3-year summary probation sentence stemming from her 2012 DUI arrest. The new story arc for the comic book hero Thor has been released. The most notable change is a new character taking over the role of the God of Thunder. For the first time in the comics' history, Marvel has introduced a female version of Thor. Writer Jason Aaron says the comic giant has been playing with this idea for quite some time. He also says he is committed to giving her a lasting story. Readers can expect to read a lot about female Thor in the upcoming weeks. Now we take it back to news with Jasmine and Rachel.
Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Jasmine Dalton.
And I'm Rachel Benshah. Have a great day.